Welcome back, guys. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, straight game TV. We're gonna wait until y'all come up in here on this Saturday night. I had to come back in today. I'm gonna show you something how people can create a narrative when they've been plotting and planning. Once again, your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, straight game TV. I need y'all to press the like button, press the share button when you see this. I'm going to give you some straight game on this Saturday night. I know a lot of people might be out. Yeah, but I'm here to bring you this straight game. Check this out. American Negro News, Red, Ferrari, Peace, Kicks Brown. We're going to wait for a couple of more people to come up in here. Man, oh man. What a tangle web that they weave, man. And when we inspire to conceive, right? Yes, Lord. Wait for a couple other people coming here. Ferrari, thank you for coming in. Kicks Brown, American Negro News, Battle Axe, what's good? Amar Dizzle, what's good? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a this is like the COINTELPRO on steroids. What I understand and what I've been researching, I thank you, American Negro News, but no thank you. I'm cool. I appreciate the offer, though. Yes, sir. Gregory Weathers, what's good? Oh no, it's not really gonna be a crazy year. It's gonna be more importantly, it's gonna be this is gonna be a learning lesson. I mean, a lot of people are not paying attention, and if they are, they're paying attention for the wrong reasons. If you read the title, Jay-Z, Sean P. Diddy Combs, and Jennifer Lopez, if you've read the indictment, they put Celebrity B as a female that this alleged 13-year-old young lady, who we found out as of recent, she is a Caucasian young lady. She said that she walked up to the limo and the limo driver told her, "You're Diddy's type. You're just what he was looking, just the type that he's looking for." I want y'all to hold on to that one right there. The young lady also said, and I take this very serious, she said that she's autistic, right? Tony Busby's come out and said a whole lot of things that you would normally hear in a case where when somebody says something, when she suffered, from all of these other underlying things based on this happening to her from that perspective. But I'm here to tell you once again that nothing ever happened, and I'm going to show you in detailed point by point that it's not true. So now they haven't mentioned J.Lo yet, but I'm here to tell you that J.Lo is Celebrity B that they're talking about. It hasn't hit the fan yet. I don't know if they went at J.Lo with a demand letter in regards to her, trying to get her to scare her to settle or whatever from that perspective. Nandy Johnston, what's happening? Giffy Abaka, what's good? Philip H. Anna Little, I'm gonna listen to me, y'all. I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. Check this out. So now, the 2000 VMAs. I need you, if you buy your computer, I need you to go online, and I don't know if you checked out the picture, because see, they got pictures going around. I need you to go online and type in Diddy and J.Lo at the 2000 VMAs if you can. This is for the people that come along later and also watch this video, if you will. So if you go online and you look up Diddy and J.Lo at the VMAs, look at J.Lo and what she has on. She has that white top on. It was a white Sean John top, like crop top, and then she has like those white jeans on. I think they have like Swarovski crystals in the Sean John top, if you will. And then she has that bandana around her head. J.Lo won the VMA that year for best dance video. Right? And so when you understand that, when you see that, right? This is the night that the young lady is alleging, right, that the situation with her happened. Now, I want you Puffy with J.Lo. There's pictures later on that night from the Lotus Club where J.Lo actually changed up. If you look, you'll see the pictures. I didn't want to use the pictures. I didn't want to be copyright claimed or nothing like that. There's pictures at the after party. There's pictures at the after party with J.Lo and Sean P. Diddy Combs. Puffy has the same thing he had on. But J.Lo changed her outfit, and she has a beautiful like one-piece skirt, like type of skirt deal on. If you look up the photos, you'll see, you know what I mean? P. Diddy and J.Lo at the Lotus Club after the after party at the 2000 VMA Awards, right? I want you to look that up. You got to look it up. I'm telling you, y'all, because this is how the situation is going to be exposed as a total fraud. Just like Jay-Z said, Jay-Z was on point. Jay-Z was truly on point. So if you go look that up at the Lotus Club, and you'll see J.Lo changed her outfit later on after that evening. She changed her outfit to that like one-piece dress. Now, you'll see all of these other, black people around and people around Puffy and around J.Lo at that particular time, right? Now, once again, the young lady is claiming that she went to a house that had a U-shaped driveway. There is no indication, and she can't explain what else happened at this party. She's claimed that she's at this party at the Lotus Club, y'all. She's not there. She's not there. She's nowhere in the vicinity of Puffy. There is no bedrooms. There is none of the things that was described. There is none of that. None of it. None of it. The place that was described in the lawsuit was some kind of house, if you will, right? That she was taken to by this alleged limo driver, whom we haven't heard from if he even exists or was driving for Puffy on that particular night. But we're going to get into that too, right? So once again, the young lady said that on that particular night, she told NBC News, she said, I'm talking to like Fred Durst, Benji Madden about his tattoo, because about his tattoo, that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background, so it's just something to talk about. After accepting a drink from a waitress, she told NBC News, I started feeling funny. I tried to start looking for a place to lay down. There's no place to lay down in the Lotus Club, y'all. The pictures that you see are the pictures from the after party after the VMA Awards. There are no other pictures. Jay-Z is also at this same after party, right? So let's be clear. They tried to conjure up a story based on pictures that they found where Jay-Z and J.Lo and Puffy were at this party. So they looked for pictures where they could cultivate and craft a false narrative and a story around three different celebrities, if you will. Remember, I told you when I did the interview on the Art of Dialogue, right? And you don't hear anything about it anymore about this book. Go check out the Art of Dialogue, and I did the interview with the guy. I can't even think of his name right now. But the white guy that put out this book, right? This is the book that he put up in the interview, and he gave it to me after the interview. Chris Todd is his name, right? Listen, I want y'all to listen. Nothing in this book is true. The picture was used illegally, right? Nothing in this book is true. Absolutely, positively nothing. This was a highly crafted smear campaign that was giving precedent and was at one time, they say, the #1 bestseller on Amazon. The book has been removed. It was removed 2 hours after I did the interview with him over on the Art of Dialogue. He scratched out the author's name, Jamal T. Millwood, which was a fake pseudonym that Tupac allegedly used, and Jamal T. Millwood doesn't exist. I want you to follow me. This book right here, Kim's Lost Words. It wasn't Kim's Lost Words. It's all a lie. And we proved it, and they took it down off of Amazon. Check this out. So now, the pictures that I just told you to look up, you see clearly. They said what they said, men and women lie, numbers don't. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, these pictures right here that I just told you to look up from the VMAs and the red carpet when Puffy and J.Lo walking the red carpet, they're together that night. It is alleged that the limo driver took her to some party, right? Right? I need you to understand. I need you to understand. She said that a friend of hers drove her to Radio City Music Hall. If you look at the pictures with J.Lo and Puffy, you can see clearly where the VMAs happened that year at Radio City Music Hall. Okay, now you have place, right? Proximity. She said that she lived in Rochester, New York, snuck out the house. Her friend, who would have been 20 years old at the time, drove her down 5 hours to the VMAs, right? So now, 5 hours to the VMAs. She always wanted to go. She said she snuck out the window, went down to the VMAs, and all of these other things, right? I need you to understand. This young lady is a 13-year-old Caucasian young lady whom said in her interview that she was autistic. And I don't play with autism or anything like that. Once again, my thing is, and the way she explained it to NBC, if you watch the interview, you're going to understand what it is that Tony Busby and them has done here. I think I personally think that they've taken advantage of this young lady, to be perfectly honest with you. This young lady was not capable at that particular time. It's so sad at this particular point that they're using this young lady like that she had to speak out. The young lady confesses that she remembers nothing else of the party, right? I need you to understand. The incident didn't happen, Jay-Z said. And these pictures that I'm telling you to look up proves that it didn't happen. Puffy was with J.Lo all night. They were together all night. They came together to the VMAs together. They went to the party together, and they left together. This is at the Lotus Club. They cannot put Puffy or Jay-Z at any other location with any other photos with this young lady, with no celebrities, with no none of that. Do you understand that? They haven't even mentioned J.Lo as female celebrity B, but I already peeped it because I went and did the research. I'm like, well, who could they say would be celebrity B, right? And you go and you look and you say, okay, oh, it's J.Lo. It's J.Lo. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. They went, they got pictures, they found pictures. Oh, Jay-Z, J.Lo, and Puffy at the same event, right? Remember, I want you to understand this. Jane Doe's case was referred to Tony Busby by another. Listen, I want you to listen to this because you got to understand this, man. Tony Busby says Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. Listen, y'all. What they're now mentioning is they're saying that someone else, they passing the buck now. They didn't say all of this at first. They're saying that someone else passed this young lady's case over to them, in which the person who passed it over to them was the person who vetted the case. They doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk, y'all. They backsliding. I need you to pay attention to this. I need you to really, truly, honestly pay attention to this straight game that I'm giving you. So our client remains fiercely adamant that what she stated is true to the best of her memory. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent that it exists because we have interrogated her intensely. She has even agreed to submit a polygraph test. And he says, I've never had a client suggest that before. Well, he wouldn't need to. Cases are usually believed on their face as the accusation is stated in the claim, right? Y'all, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Listen to me, and I need you to understand. The young lady said, and when NBC News, they did a follow-up on her after stating what she had stated, right? A limo ride to a White House, a drink that made her feel woozy, a essay by rap stars that would ruin her life. But the woman and her lawyers also acknowledged that there were some inconsistencies in her account in response to the questions by NBC. She said, I have made some mistakes in her recollections of that night. The woman, identified as Jane Doe in the lawsuit filed against Jay-Z and Diddy. She told NBC News, the woman said she stands by her allegations. Overall, the inconsistencies in her account of the incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago do not necessarily mean the allegations are false. Because of her inconsistencies, NBC is, offering up the excuse and basically saying, just because they happened 24 years ago, don't mean that they're false, right? Tony Busby filed this lawsuit and now is claiming that somebody else passed it over to him and that the other person vetted it prior to sending it to his law firm. This is what they're saying now after going on the media and saying all of this stuff about how it's true. We're trusting our case. We're going to fight it in court. We're going to do all of these things, all of the posturing in the media that has been going on. So the allegations against Jay-Z basically are enormous, if you will, right? Linking him to behavior that is so unbecoming, it's just embarrassing. But listen, NBC News traveled to Houston, right? She's from Alabama. Listen to me. Listen to me. This woman lives in Alabama, but now she's in Houston, being closely guarded by her attorney and coached by her attorney, right? Diddy has called it a shameful money grab, right? Jay-Z's attorney has called it a shameful money grab. Listen, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, said, this is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting. Now, mind you, Tony Busby saying somebody else vetted it before we got it, and then they gave it to us. Pause. What? Okay. Let's go for that for a minute here, right? But would make things worse by further peddling a false story in the press. We are asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today and will take up the matter of additional discipline of Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. So Jay-Z's lawyers saying they're asking for the dismissal, but not only are they asking for the dismissal, but they're asking for disciplinary actions for the lawyers who actually filed the complaint to begin with, right? Puffy's attorneys basically saying, called the suit a shameful money grab. Busby has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Sean Puffy Combs, and all of them are Jane Doe's or John Doe's, if you will, right? Listen. This young lady was forced to speak out. The lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Combs as a defendant, and it was refiled Sunday to name Jay-Z as another defendant. And I'm telling you, J.Lo has not been named as yet as Celebrity B, but that's who they're talking about, because that's who Sean P. Diddy Combs was with that night at the party. They know that. Tony Busby and them know that because they got the pictures from offline. You get it? So this is a carefully crafted narration of pictures that were seen online. But listen, they got it wrong. There was no White House that they were at. They were at the Lotus Club. The pictures show that where they were that night. And the Lotus Club does not have any beds. It doesn't have a U-shaped, it was closed now, but it doesn't have a U-shaped driveway, or none of the things that they explained in the lawsuit. That's another major league inconsistency, right? That proves that the narrative that they tried to come with is false. It's just as simple as that, man. Just like we seen the Cassie video with Puffy doing what he did, and we believe what that video shows. The same way and with that same energy for this situation here, right? You got to look at the pictures from the Lotus Club. You got to look at the pictures from the VMAs. Puffy was with J.Lo the whole night. So all of a sudden now J.Lo is watching Puffy be with some 13-year-old girl and be like, oh, they walked into the room like, oh, you ready to party now? Get the fuck out of here. Listen, man. If you are an African-American male and you've had any kind of success in your life, be careful who you're dealing with, man. I wouldn't even recommend that. I'm not even gonna say that, because this is a totally fabricated story, and they've taken advantage. I feel like they've taken advantage of this young lady. The young lady says she has autism, man. You know, I'm looking at it now in a totally different light when you understand the facts that and so this is sickening. This is sickening, man. This is sickening. They saying Tony Busby is now saying that, yo, somebody else brung us the case. They already vetted it before they brung it to us. But we're continuing to vet her story. No, that's not what they said when they filed the case originally, man. They was gung-ho about it. The case, it had all of these, man. The case has so many holes and inconsistencies in it, right? It's pure fiction. I feel for the young lady. I do. I really do. Because she's She's not really behind this like that, man. She's not really behind this like that. This is a carefully crafted narrative, man. This is not about, no, man. The pictures. Go look at them. Go look at the pictures of Puffy and J.Lo at the after party at the Lotus Club. Go look at the pictures of them walking the red carpet, man. Now they're suggesting to us that J.Lo, they haven't said it yet, but that's what's coming next. But Jay-Z and Puffy, they're not going to let it go that far. They're not going to let it go that far. Are you kidding me? To suggest that Jay-Z did something wrong to a 13-year-old Caucasian young lady who has autism, y'all? Come on, man. They using the girl collar. You know it. And so when you talk about that, I'm giving you the pictures, but we're gonna move down. Let's check it out. Now, listen. The young lady saying, you always have to fight for what happened to you. She said about why she's going public with her accusations now. You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what someone else did ruin your life, she said. I just hope I can give others strength to come forward like I came forward. See, they're setting it up now for these other frivolous claims from whatever people that they got that, they've made up. And just go look at P. Diddy and J.Lo at the VMAs in 2000 and at the Lotus Club after party. And you could just see the vibe and see all of the people around them, hanging around them, and so on and so forth. The woman, who is now 38, told NBC News she was living in Rochester, New York, in 2000, and that attending the VMAs was on my bucket list at 13. I was like, oh my gosh, one of those things I've got to do. She had a bucket list at 13. She knew what a bucket list was, y'all. This is a new term. Y'all. At 13, she had a bucket list, y'all. Are you kidding me? Let's move on. Oh my gosh, one of those things I have got to do, she said, and she snuck out of the window to evade her parents. A friend drove her to Radio City Music Hall in New York City. She said in the lawsuit, people thronged into viewing areas outside the venue, which was decked out for the awards. Crowds roared when J.Lo arrived. Eminem performed on the street. J.Lo arrived with Puffy. You see it in come on, y'all. You see the pictures. J.Lo arrived with Puffy. This is a clear, listen to me, man. This is a clear inconsistency. She said when J.Lo arrived, the people screamed. J.Lo arrived with Puffy. The pictures are right there, and you can see them. She said she didn't have a ticket and said that in the suit, she watched some of the show on the Jumbotron outside. She also started chatting up the limo drivers, right? I'm trying to get in and trying to stay back and get to an after party, right? And get invited in and meet some celebrities, she told NBC News. One limo driver said he worked with Combs and that she fit. Listen to me. I want y'all to listen to this because we see the pictures with Puffy with J.Lo, right? Seeing the Puffy after parties, the pictures with Puffy with J.Lo. Listen, one limo driver said he worked for Combs and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. You mean to tell me as hot and Jennifer Lopez and Puffy had just started dating. You mean to tell me as hot and sizzling as J.Lo looked on that night at the VMAs Playboy, right? Puffy looking for something else. Puffy looking for a 13-year-old, a Caucasian young lady who now we understand happened to be autistic, according to this limo driver. I need y'all to pay attention real close, man. I'm gonna break it down to you, and I'm giving you the reference points on it with them pictures. Hold on, we're gonna keep going. So now, right? So basically, she said that the limo driver said he worked for Puffy, and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. Amazing. Listen to me. He's looking for somebody like her, but he's with J.Lo. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Right? The suit said, and he told her to return later and he'd take her to an after party. The return later for what? He said that he worked for Sean P. Diddy Combs. So if he worked for Sean P. Diddy Combs, he would have had Jennifer Lopez and P. Diddy, as his clients that he was driving for that night, according to the limo driver. Correct? Right? Okay, we just trying to, these are the things that are being told to us, right? After about 20 minutes, 20 minutes, right? Told her to come back later. Don't say when she came back. It says, then it jumps to after 20 minutes in the limo, she said in the suit, she arrived at a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Who did she drive to the party with? Who was in the limo? Because if he was working for P. Diddy that night, how did that work? He's working for Puffy. Puffy's with J.Lo. We see him at the awards. We see him at the Lotus Club, right? 20 minutes later, she says she drives to a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. She said in the suit, she signed a document that she didn't read. What? She signed a document that she didn't read. Listen. Inside, she told NBC News, I'm talking to like Fred Durst, Benji Madden about his tattoo because, his tattoo of the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about. After accepting a drink from a waitress, she told NBC News, I started feeling funny. I tried to start looking for a place to lay down. She not at the same party as Puffy and them. She not at the same party, y'all. They at the Lotus Club. Jennifer Lopez changed the clothes. They all together. They together. Deep in it. Deep in it, y'all. This is not the same place. This is not the same time. This has nothing to do with these. Listen, what they tried to do was they tried to come up with this, the white party at the White House and all of that. It's not going to work. It's all false. This is somebody else's narrative, right? Listen. She found an empty room with a bed in it. She said in the suit, and soon after, Combs, Carter, and a woman entered the room. So who was with Puffy on that night, y'all? She said, listen, they looked at these pictures, man, and I'm telling you, they came up with a false narrative that's not going to really work, man. That's not going to work. It's just not going to work. I don't know why they did this. The money, I don't know who owes somebody some money, who need to pay for that big house or they rent or they bills. It's just not going to work. She said she found an empty room with a bed in it. She said in the suit, and soon after, who comes in the room? Combs, Carter, and the woman entered the room. You are ready to party? What in the hell? You are ready to party, Combs said, according to the suit. Both Combs and Carter R-word her. She said, Jay-Z comes over, holds me down. I started trying to push him away. She's 13 years old, y'all. And she has autism, according to her. Listen, let's just listen to this shit, man. Right? Trying to push him away. He puts his hand over my mouth, tells me to stop it, to cut cut the shit, and then he R-words me. Like he had me overpowered, she said. After what she said in the suit, she managed to flee the house and ran to a gas station. I was upset. And the person at the gas station could tell that I was obviously upset and she let me use the phone. I called my dad because he was the only person I trusted at the time. Didn't she live with her dad? Right? I told him I messed up and I needed a ride home. She told NBC News, we rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was. You mean to tell me your 13-year-old daughter calls you 5 hours away, y'all live in Rochester, New York, and you have to drive 5 hours, and you go down there and you don't ask no questions? You don't ask what she doing down there, how she get down there. This is carefully crafted, and she's been coached to say these things. There's no way on God's green earth. Now, we're going to get to what the father said, because it's a little bit more that he said, right? After what was initially released, because they called her back after the father released this statement, right? Right? Listen. She told NBC News she never told anyone about the alleged incident or wrote it down in a diary. Even if somebody found out, who was going to believe me? I mean, it was the word of two celebrities against mine, she said. See, right there. Right there. It was the word of two celebrities. I thought there was a female celebrity that entered the room too. Wouldn't it be three celebrities? See, they messed up in the filing, man. You gotta look carefully. It ain't what they saying, it's what they not saying. She said that it was the word of two celebrities against mine, she said. But when she said that whoever entered the room, it was Jay-Z and Puffy, along with who? A female. And they put in the case a female celebrity as celebrity B. But she said, well, who would believe me? It was the word of two celebrities against mine. Wouldn't it be three? This is another inconsistency in a hole in the case, right? The years after were hard, she said. I got severely depressed. I withdrew completely. My grades started slipping, and she dropped out of school. She experienced homelessness, she said, and at one point suffered a head injury. She and her father also said she was the R word later in life. I don't know anything about that. I'm talking about the allegations are made against that have been made public in regards to this situation. Now she has two children, a son and a daughter. She served less than a year in the Army National Guard and left with the rank of a private. She got a high school diploma and got my Christian counseling certification so that I can help people who have gone through what I have gone through, she said. She also said she has her applied behavior analysis certification so she can help people with autism. Commendable. Which she says she has, meaning like I said, let me read that again. She also says she has her applied behavior analysis certification so she can help people with autism, which she says she has. There are so little resources to moms that don't have the proper amount of income, she said. Reaction was swift in the days since the woman went public with her allegations against Carter. The rapper released a statement calling the claims idiotic and heinous in nature and sharply criticizing her attorney. There are some inconsistencies in her story about that night, and we're going to get actively into the inconsistencies. And the first one is from her father. He spoke out, but then he spoke out again. Listen. Her father told NBC News that he does not recall picking her up after the alleged attack, casting doubt on a key detail in her lawsuit. Red flag number one. The father of this 13-year-old who self-confessed that she has autism, right? I'm sure, hopefully I don't know if she was diagnosed later in life or prior to whatever, but the father is basically saying he does not recall picking her up after the alleged attack, casting doubt on key details in her lawsuit. This is very key. The person that she says or alleging that picked her up saying he don't remember that, right? But they're gonna put the father on drugs in a minute. Check this out. Watch this. Watch how the lawyer Tony Busby put the father on drugs or having some drug problems. Watch this. Check it out now. Um, man, God have mercy. According to their address at the time, her father would have driven more than 5 hours from their home to pick her up. And the father said, quote, "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't." He said in an interview Thursday, "I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind." The father does not remember picking his daughter up at the age of 13 and driving 5 hours. If any of you in the room, you had to do that for your daughter, in fact, you would remember something like that. That would have been a life remembering event. Your 13-year-old daughter is 5 hours away. You didn't know where she was at. None of these things. But check it out. Watch how they try to make him seem like he was on some kind of having some kind of life problems that would help him forget. And, don't never mind that it was mentioned that he picked her up and he don't remember because he got problems too. Check this out. Watch how they move on this one. The woman's father, who said he learned of the alleged assault this week. So he just learned of it this week. He learned of it this week, right? Added that he did remember once picking her up in the middle of the night, but he said it was a local drive. Wasn't 5 hours. Come on, man. You in the car for 5 hours. 5 hours up. That's a 10-hour drive. 5 hours down and 5 hours up. That's a 10-hour drive. 10 hours, right? You would remember that drive. I know I would, right? But listen, ask about her father's account in a follow-up interview. So NBC went back and did a follow-up interview with her. Asked about her account in a follow-up interview on Friday, right? Today, right? The woman said she stood by her claim that he had picked her up and that it's possible he had misremembered. Daddy don't remember, but I do. I remember, but my daddy doesn't remember driving 5 hours, but I remember him driving 5 hours. So the person that drove 5 hours doesn't remember it. See what I mean? Come on, man. Listen, she goes on to say, there's a lot of things, and this is stuff that we argue about constantly. Sometimes he said or did back in New York around that time period, he just doesn't remember, she said. It actually causes a lot of fights sometimes in the household. Listen. Regarding her father's recollection, listen. Tony Busby, the lawyer. Listen, y'all got this is just totally, because now Tony Busby's claiming to know the father's history. He probably 60 some odd, 70 some odd years old, probably at this particular time. But Tony Busby claims to know his history. Check this out. Watch how they put him, he having life problems and things like that. Regarding her father's recollections, Tony Busby told NBC News, we agree, he states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. So the daughter told Tony Busby that the father was having personal issues, and that's why the father wouldn't remember driving 5 hours, y'all. So this is the excuse that Tony Busby is now telling NBC News that the daughter told him. Regarding her father's recollections, Busby told NBC News, we agree, he states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. We are talking about a time frame of more than 20 years ago. But what they're telling you is he don't remember driving 5 hours. But everything that she's saying, you need to listen to, because her at a 13-year-old, you should believe her. See the inconsistencies and the hypocrisy in this? A grown-ass man is telling you, I don't remember driving 5 hours. I remember coming pick her up one night, and it was at a local situation, something local that I came to pick her up. Wasn't no 5 hours. I would remember driving 5 hours. But then the lawyer would come back and say, well, yeah, she told me, he was having personal issues, and he wouldn't have remembered that. No, that wouldn't have been something. It was 20 years ago. But as a 13-year-old, you should remember me. And like I told you, go back to the pictures. All you gotta do is go back to the pictures. They was at the VMAs. They was at the Lotus Club. It's just that simple. The pictures of Sean P. Diddy Combs and J.Lo. Jay-Z was also there. J.Lo had changed her dress. Right? They trying to point J.Lo as celebrity B. But when it came down to it, it was two celebrities against her. It would have been two celebrities allegedly against her one word. Right? When in fact, she said that they're saying in the suit that celebrity B was a female. So how would it have been three celebrities, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have been two, right? Okay, check it out. The woman also told NBC News she spoke with musicians Benji Madden at the after party. But representatives once again for Madden confirmed that neither Benji nor his brother Joel attended the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. Benji and Joel saying they weren't even there, man. They weren't even there. They were on tour. They didn't go to the VMAs. They weren't at no VMA after parties or nothing like that. It's a lie. It is a lie. If you don't believe Puffy, believe the white guys. Benji and Joel are white guys. If you don't believe the black guys, believe the white guys. You think they would lie about something like that? You think they would lie for the black guy and say, well, the black guys, Jay-Z and Puffy and them were there. No, we were there. No, we weren't there. They're simply telling the truth. They weren't there at that time. We weren't there. She didn't talk to us. We were not there. We were on tour in the Midwest. And I say that for that reason. I say this for that reason because, like I said, people tend to believe who they want to believe. A lot of times, and people they would accuse me, say, "Oh man, you just because they black." No. We're talking about facts, but we know how some people biases work, right? And how they think. So check it out. Now, Benji and Joel say, "No, we weren't there." Their representative said they didn't attend the VMA, so she couldn't have talked to them. Another inconsistency, another red flag. Once again, Puffy and J.Lo at the Lotus Club, Jay-Z them at the Lotus Club. They not at no White House and, oh, you came to party and all of this. Come on, man. Right? Listen. I need you to understand this, man. Honestly, listen to me. Check this out. Honestly, she says, what is the clearest is what happened to me. That's the clearest thing she remembers now. What is clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Right? And the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all of the faces there are as clear, the woman said in a Friday follow-up interview. This is in the follow-up interview after the father spoke out, right? This is in a follow-up interview when they're coming back to her and they're asking her after Benji and Joel had spoken, said they weren't there. Now she's saying, honestly, what's clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all of the faces there are as clear. The woman said in a Friday follow-up interview, so I have made some mistakes. I may have made some mistakes in identifying. There it is. I really, truly, honestly don't think that she made any mistake. It didn't happen. Because if you say you talked to somebody that wasn't there and you're adamant that you talked to somebody that was there and you said earlier you talked to him because he had the Last Supper tattoo on his arm, that is a detail. That is a detailed statement about somebody you talked to that you said that had a tattoo of the Last Supper on his arm, and you talked to him based on the fact because you have a religious background. And when they come out and say, hey, you know what? We wasn't there. We was on tour. We didn't even go to the VMAs that year, right? Now, all of a sudden, come back and says that, oh, you know what? Honestly, the clearest thing that what I remember is what happened to me and the route that it took to what happened to me. Not all of the faces there are clear. The woman says on a Friday, and this is a follow-up interview. So if we were to believe what she said first and never talk to Benji or Joel or her father or anything like that, that's is what would have been believed, correct? Absolutely. Right? Check it out. The woman also could not listen. The woman also could not provide further information about the after party she said she attended. So they were asking her for details about this after party, right? That she attended. She couldn't provide any details, y'all, because she wasn't there. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. The three celebrities thing came from the pictures of them being at the VMAs. It was a concocted narrative, and I don't think it was by this young lady. It was, you got to understand what's going on here, right? Check it out now. Professional images reviewed by NBC. Listen, y'all, we're going to get into the deep part now, right? Professional images reviewed by NBC show Sean Combs and Carter were among the celebrities who attended a VMA's after party at what? At the Lotus nightclub in New York City. They got the photos, y'all. They got the photos. And we know from the photos that I just told you to go and watch or go and see that J.Lo was with Puffy that night at the VMAs, walking the red carpet, as well as at the Lotus Club, right? Once again, professional images, not images, somebody then showed you and they, and from their phone or nothing like that. This 2000, y'all. Professional images reviewed by NBC News shows Combs and Carter were among the celebrities who attended a VMAs after party at the Lotus Club, where you see Jennifer Lopez with that short skirt on because she changed her dress, right? In New York City. It is not clear what time those images were taken or if Combs and Carter attended any other after parties. You would have to show those pictures from that other after party for that to even be plausible as any kind of evidence to refute these pictures where they were somewhere else totally when somebody's saying that they were somewhere else that they weren't. See what I'm saying? We talk about evidence. We ain't talking about what people talking about. The pictures show they was at the Lotus Club. You got any other pictures with them at this other party that this young lady is saying that happened? No, we don't have those pictures. It didn't happen. It's just as simple as that. This is how you get to the bottom of what needs to be getting to the bottom of. Check it out now. Check it out. The building, listen to me, the building that housed Lotus, now closed, does not match the description of the house the woman described in the lawsuit and interview. Johnny Cochran told us best. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. If it doesn't match, you got to start from scratch because it's not true. Once again, the building that housed Lotus, now closed, does not match the description of the house the woman described in the lawsuit and interview. Jay-Z was at the Lotus Club. She described some white house. She would have to have pictures. Somebody got pictures. I know somebody got pictures from that party that she describing, because they always take pictures at those kind of parties, even if you a bystander. They taking pictures at that party. We got to see the pictures, man. We need the pictures. We need the limo driver. Where the limo driver? Did they get an affidavit from him? We need to hear from him too now. We need to hear from him, right? Then she says, I don't know exactly where we were going. Or she, this is what the young lady says. I don't know exactly where we were going or even how long it took, the woman said, when asked Tuesday where she thought she was taken that night. She don't know where she was going or how long it took to get there, right? Where she thought she was taken. See what I'm saying? See, she don't know how long it took or where she was going, where she thought she was going. So even NBC News is starting to not believe what's going on. They say, oh, well, she thought she was going, because where she thought she was going, Jay-Z and Puffy and Jennifer Lopez wasn't there at this place. So wherever she thought she was going, there's no information or evidence of them actually being at this place that she said that she was at, is what NBC News was basically saying, right? Right? He said, so she added that she had guessed about the length of time the trip had taken in the lawsuit. So once again, there's another guess. I guess she added that she guessed the length of time that the trip had taken in the lawsuit. Right? Busby said, now here come Tony Busby again, right? Busby said, we have attempted to confirm the correct location. Hold on, man. You hear that? Tony Busby said, we have attempted to confirm the correct location. I thought they knew it was at that White House with that U-shaped driveway, wasn't it? Now, hold on. You mean to tell me they filed a lawsuit and they still trying to attempt to confirm the location? When she gave the location that it was a White House with the U-shaped driveway? You can't put her at the Lotus Club now. Don't do that. You can't put her at the Lotus Club. Check it out now. We have attempted to confirm the correct location. This is what Tony Busby's saying, her lawyer. We have attempted to confirm the correct location. We have never suggested the location was the Lotus Club. Boom. Huh? He goes on to say, our client has been very specific and detailed about the description of the venue she says she was taken to, and she has never stated it was the Lotus Club. Well, that's what Jay-Z, J.Lo, and Puffy was at. Y'all got the pictures, don't y'all? NBC News got the pictures, y'all. Shit is breaking down right before their eyes, man. It's breaking down right before their eyes. Right? Tony Busby added, we won't speculate on whether there was an after party. So look, he's trying to impute new information. He said, we won't speculate if there was an after party, meaning that whether J.Lo, Jay-Z, and Puffy went to some other place after the Lotus Club. No, you stated in your brief that, guess what? We were at this White House with this U-shaped driveway. We see the pictures clearly. J.Lo was with Puffy that night, walking the red carpet. Also at the Lotus Club, J.Lo had changed her clothes, right? Jay-Z also is in pictures at the Lotus Club after the VMAs that night. They haven't introduced any kind of evidence showing that Puffy, Jay-Z, or J.Lo was at this other location that the young lady has described in her filing. It didn't happen. It's just that simple, right? We move on, right? Hold on. Tony Busby said, we won't speculate on whether there was an after party because, again, she doesn't know that. There you have it. Among the women's allegations that could not be corroborated is how she made it to New York City that night. That's another thing that couldn't be corroborated. She couldn't tell them how she made it to New York City that night. One of her attorneys provided NBC News with the name and the birth date of a friend she said drove her, who would have been 20 at the time. That person appears to have since died. NBC News attempts to reach out to the person's relatives have been unsuccessful. Ladies and gentlemen, they want us to believe when they have pictures that they're worth 1,000 words. We have pictures. We have evidence. The pictures show that this is where the person was. Right now, I'm gonna break it down. Right now, the young man who shot the CEO of United Health, right? What are they trying to link him? How are they trying to link him to the murder? With the pictures that they got from the hostel that he stayed at, right? $20 something a night, $29 a night. and he had to pull down his mask, right? They got pictures of him being there at that location. They also got pictures, they got fingerprints from a wrapper and a bottle of water that he, right. See, when they're trying to convict you, the information that they use, and they say, oh, this is a lot of evidence. That same information that they use that also proves your innocence. So now the pictures with J.Lo and Puffy at the VMAs together, holding hands and kicking cans and loving one another and caring for each other. You know what I mean? The pictures at the Lotus nightclub with them hugging one another and loving each other and caring for each other. Right? Where are the pictures at this alleged other party? Where are the pictures at? The father say he don't remember. Right? I would have remembered that. 5 hours, 10 hours, a 10-hour drive. I would have remembered that. He doesn't remember. She don't even remember details about the party she said where she was at. She said she talked to people at the party. Guess what? Who weren't even there. Celebrities who weren't even at the party, y'all. 3. She can't even explain, and they can't corroborate how she even got to the party or to New York that night, for that matter. Next, they're going to tell us that the limo driver, they can't find him either. Where's the limo driver? That's somebody else who could corroborate the story. But then if you back it up, the Michael Jackson moonwalk, the backslide, really is tough when now they're saying that, well, somebody else passed this case off to us who vetted it before we did, and so we just move forward with it. I told you they was going to try to wiggle their way out of it. This case going to get dismissed, man. Any judge, any real true judge, and a real good lawyer and respectable attorney, they're going to dismiss this shit. Like I said, at the end of the day. And it's so sad, like I said, I feel for the young lady. Not because of what is alleged to have happened to her, because me personally, based on what's been told, I don't believe in anything happened. And like I said, from just the listening to what everything is being said, right? I think she was being used. I think they seen somebody that they could, somebody that was impressionable. She says she has autism, and in fact, she's being taken advantage of. Right? I told you that's why they filed the Jane Doe lawsuits, so that when they file the Jane Doe lawsuits, if the person doesn't really want to come forward, mention their name and all of this, right, then they can quickly back out, and you never know who the person was. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's a quick money grab. If they thought Jay-Z was going to settle, boom, it didn't happen. Now they got to see, now they had to push her out. Like, hey, look, you got to go out and, give a statement, right? But that didn't go too well either. That didn't go too well either. And it's sad, man. It's sad. Like I said, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens from this point on. Like I said, Jay-Z basically said that he called Tony Busby a fraud. Amazing. And Jay-Z said we're going to see true justice in a few days. We're going to see true justice. So we're going to wait to see what happens, man. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.